Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Long time coming this one. We have now got box 7 of the IXO Collections release and build the Porsche 917KH. Now before we even get into this, we're doing stages 25 to 28 and we're going to be building onto this. And I thought I'd show you on this camera just so you can see how big this actually is. It's ginormous. But because we haven't actually done one of these for a while, I want to give you a quick update of what we've actually done and where we left off from pack 6. So in no particular order, we have done one of the tyres, looking like that, and the wheels. We have got some sections of bodywork here, which we won't be installed into a long time down the road, I reckon. We've got one of the doors, looking like that. What else have we got? We got some parts for the engine there. Looks like that's an expansion tank there. Got a lens for the headlights. In fact, we've actually got the headlight. I've got a spring. I've got some parts for the suspension there. Put that down. Brake disc. That looks really good. I like that. Steering wheel, which is already to be attached by look of it to a steering shaft there. This looks like a shock absorber here. Don't even know if this is part of the build, but it was in the drawer. I've got this little section here. Hopefully we'll come across that next time. And then putting all this away, the only thing left to show you is the engine, which looks just like that. Absolutely massive. I've kept this tidy. I've kept this to one side. But I don't think we're going to be using any of this in this stage because we are going to start building that frame. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, I'll put the link in the video description to the IXO Collections website. You can get this all the way from stage 1. But without further ado, let's get cracking. So we're going to start with stage 25, and as you can see here, we've got the frame, we've got a little tab to put in. We're going to screw that into place, just there, put 2 screws in, and that's all there is to do in that stage. So this is what that frame looks like, and probably best on the side camera there. You've already got it all painted with the different schemes there. That's what it looks like from that side. It's all metal. Once again, that's how big it is. It's ginormous. So all we're going to do, as you see, we've got this tab here. That's just going to go into this middle section just here like that. That's going to be secured in with 2 of the FM screws that are provided in this stage. So that's 1. And that one's 2. And once that's in, that is all there is to do in that stage. Now in stage 26, as you can see here, we're going to be attaching the pedal system to that frame, looking like this. We have got an electric lead coming out of that, so we're going to have to be careful of that. And then mounting this onto the frame, as you can see there. Once that's all mounted into place, it looks like we're putting, is this part of the floor pan? I think that's part of the floor pan in place there to go on. Quite a lot to do in this stage by the look of it. So there is just a quick summary of everything we're going to be doing. We have actually got these bits as well, which I just showed you earlier on, that looks like we're going to be mounting into place as well. So here is all the parts that we've got. We're going to start by mounting these pedals. I'm probably going to need my tweezers for this. So I'm going to get out all the parts I need. 1, 2, 3. And the KP screws there are 4. And quite simply, the way this goes in, they're very tiny, these pieces, aren't they? So we're going to hold that piece there. We're going to have this piece going next to it. Then we're going to have the pedal. The pedal's going to go this way. Make sure you've got the right pedal, because there's 2 pedals in this one. So this notch at the side here is facing towards the details we've already just put in. That's going to go there. And that's all going to be held together with one of these screws. So it's probably best to do this backwards and put one of the screws in first. Goes into the middle hole here, that one there. So I'll put that in, just like that. Then we've got the bracket. Now in the bracket, the top hole is going to be for that little lug that I just showed you on that pedal. Put that in so it's nice and tight on there. And then we're going to screw all of that into this end here. So I'm hoping my screwdriver can actually handle something so tiny. I think it's going to be okay. Yep, that's fine. Then screw all of that together. I'll make that nice and tight. So now that looks just like that. We're going to do the same for the other pedal. So I'll get those details out. The other pedal is looking like this. There is still one more pedal in there. That looks like the gas pedal, the accelerator pedal there. This time I need a GP screw, looking like that. And I also need that little piston just there. And once again, this is going to go through this side here. And it's going to attach to this section on the other side here. Just like this. And there we go. That's 2 pedals done. We're then going to be taking the little frame or the mount that all of these are going to be mounted in. And we have got this pin, which is going to help us mount all of those. So this way round like this. And the gas pedal here, I'm just going to be putting into that section just like that. It's holding itself at the moment, so I'll leave it where it is. And I'll put the pin in afterwards, I think. As a matter of fact, now let's put the pin in now, because I don't want that moving. Now I have put the end of the pin in a little bit of oil just to help us out and get that through. I'm going to use my pliers here to help push that. And there we go, that's the first one in. And you can see the pins coming out into the middle one now. I'm just going to back that off a bit because I've got to put another pedal in now. So turning it around this way, this is what the other pedal looks like. That's going to go into the middle just there. Lining it up as best I can so I can get this pin through that one as well. There we go. So that's 2 pedals in. And then finally, the third pedal is just going to go into the end just like that. And then that pin can go all the way through. I do want it to come out the other side. So I'm going to push that down. And there we go, you can see that on the other side. So that's now all of those pedals in. Then we've got the switch here. Now I think, because it's on the brake pedal, that's actually going to operate the brake lights. That's going to go in just like that there. So that when that's depressed, as you can see, it's going to operate that switch. So that's excellent. Now we don't actually keep that switch into place at the moment. I think it's just telling us where it's actually going to go. When we mount this to the car, which we're about to do, that's going to hold that in. So bringing up the chassis, I just say it the way I know it. I've always called it chassis. I don't know if it's because I'm Australian or I'm just speaking silly. Now this lead, I just want to bend this up just like that. Because this is going to go over the 2 holes that we can see just there. And that's going to hold that switch into place. As you can see. So now when I push the brake pedal, I should hear that click. Excellent. Now we're going to be putting that in with 2 screws, and they are KM flange screws. So there's the first one. Nice and tight. And here's the second one. Now we've got these cylinders which are going to go behind it, and that's what these shafts here are going to go into. I'm just going to bend this wire so it's out the way of that. That's going to go into that depression there with just these things, but these rods here are going to go into the holes that we can see on that side there. So one this side, whoops, one this side. Let's get them all the way in. Perfect. And then mount that into the middle there. And that's going to keep the pedals aligned where they need to be. Now that's going to be held in from the other side with an AP screw. So I've got one of them here. Hold that down. Turn it over. Put an AP screw in this side. Excellent. And that is now in place like that. We then have a line to put in. I'm guessing this is a fluid line or hydraulic line that's going to go onto the nipple that we can see just here. So get that in. Probably best to use, just going to check. Yeah, I'm going to use my tweezers. Make sure that's in all the way because you don't want that falling out. Perfect, that's in. I'm just going to put this under here for a second just to keep that out of the way, because then remember this that I just showed you earlier on? We're going to be mounting this into the car. That's just going to go onto these front sections here, and it's going to go like, whoops, this. There you go, sitting perfectly on there. That's going to be held in from the other side with IM screws. So I've turned that over. I'm going to put the IM screws in this side here first. One there, and then just one on the other side. I've only put them in loose at the moment until I've got these lined up. And then I'll tighten them up. I'm going to use my big screwdriver for that to make sure that's in all the way. So now that is all mounted into place. Now the pipes that are coming from these cylinders here just need to go into the nipples just in the end there. So I'm going to get them in. I am wondering, should we cut them down a little bit? They haven't. They've sort of made them like this, so they've got a bend in them. So I am going to keep it exactly like the instructions has got it. So I'll put this one in first. So that's one. And that one's two. So both of those pipes are in now as well. I'm now going to put this cover on, which is going to trowel this wire here through this side of the cover. So it's going to go on kind of like this. As a matter of fact, when I turn it over, as you can see, we do have some little lugs that we need to push this into. Didn't notice that before, so I did have this in the wrong place. So I'm going to move that over a touch just to line those lugs up. Be best on the top camera here. I'll get this one lined up first. There we go. Then I can trowel that lead through and then get the others lined up as well. And then just push them in. Make sure that lead's traced on. And push that down. And now that isn't moving anywhere. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So now we're just adding some more frame details onto this section here. We are really building up on it so it looks like that. I don't know if that's some suspension that we've got in there as well. Perhaps that's what we're starting to do as well. But that is what we got to do in the next stage, stage 27. So here is everything we got in stage 27. And the first thing I'm going to need is this massive frame here. We're going to be taking this detail here first with a tab, and it's going to go onto this side of the frame that comes in this stage facing inward. So it's going to go on just like that there. That's going to be held in with an IM screw. Now all the screws that we need for this seem to be provided in each pack. Now there are plenty of spares, so I don't know if we're going to have to go back to them later or if they are actually what they say they are. They are spares, so I do save all the screws for this build. So I've put that in a bit of oil. That's the first IM screw in there. The next detail, which looks like that there, is just going to go into the hole that we can see just below it. So I'll push that into place. Probably would have been easier putting that one in first, actually. Then we want to bring over this whole section that we worked on previously that I showed you at the start of the build, looking like that. And it's this side we're interested in on that. So with everything facing up and the shock casing facing up here, this is going to rest in there just like that there. And it's going to be held in with two of these plastic tabs. There is an indent in this one, so we need to make sure that faces down. So we've got one going over that side, one going over this side, and that's held in with BM screws. So that's one, and that one's two. Now the other little detail that I showed you earlier on, looking like this, that's going to go into the recess here, so that this section here is facing towards all of this suspension here. I keep saying it's suspension. God, I hope it is suspension, because I'm calling it that. And that's going to be screwed in from the other side. So I'll turn that over, screw in the top here. I'm going to use my heavy duty screwdriver on this one, so I can ensure that's in nice and tight. And that is what that looks like at the moment. Quite a lot. It's beginning to look like a little bit of a spider's web at the moment, but everything's in place there, and that's all there is to do in that stage. In stage 28, there's just some tiny parts here. Not a lot to do. I am liking that how some of the loose parts we've had before are now going together. We're not keeping them around, lying around for a long time. So this is what it looks like. And as I said about parts that we had before, we are getting to actually install the steering wheel now and some of the other items we've had. So we're going to be putting that all on the frame that we've done as well. So this is what we're working on at the moment. This is what it's going to look like when we're finished. So bringing this back across, it's this side here that I'm working on. What I'm going to need to do with this way round, I've got this hook part here, which is just going to fit over that section there on the frame. We're going to be securing that in with an IM screw. So I've got one of them here. And I'll screw that all the way down. And again, just using my heavy duty screwdriver just to get that in tight. Now on the other side, we've got a support. That looks just like this. And that's going to go into the hole just opposite into that section there. Once again with an IM screw. So just lock that into place. And then once again, it's this way round that I've got it. I'm going to use my heavy duty screwdriver to put that all the way in. So that's not going to move. We then got this part here. This looks like an old choke. Turn this upside down like this. And that's going to go through the hole that we can see on this section here. So that's going to go through like that there. And then quite simply, we want to take the steering wheel, which I showed you at the start again. It's going to go into the end there, and it's going to rest in the channel of the part that we just put in, like that. Then we've got a little brace, which is going to go in. That's just going to go over the top of those two holes that we can see there, just like that. That's going to be held in with some AP screws. So one in this side. I haven't put it in tight, just enough to hold that steering wheel in place, and then I'll put one in the other side here. And then make that nice and tight both sides. Don't over tighten it, you are going into plastic. And you do want to be able to turn the steering wheel, as you can see there. And then we've got another brace to put in just at the back section here, like that, onto that section. And that's going to be held in with IM screws. So one in this side, one in the other side, and once again, once they're in, perfect, I will use my heavy duty screwdriver to get them all the way. Cuts down on accidents using this screwdriver, I have to say, it's a godsend. And there you go. So we have the steering wheel in, that turns no problems at all. This looks like we've got the suspension arm in place. I'm guessing that's what that is with the shock absorber on here. And obviously, we've been working on this ginormous frame, which looks like that. But that is all there is to do in that pack. I enjoyed that pack. Lots to do. I do like packs, loads of metal, big sections as well. I do like packs where things come together, so we're not got loads of drawers full of bits and pieces that we need to attach later on. We've now got them in place, so we're not going to lose them later on. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. If you want to get this for yourself, once again, I'll put the link to the IXO Collections website in the video description, and you'll be able to get this all the way from pack 1. Now remember, there's no live stream tonight. It's Thursday night. As I said, it's my parents' 60th diamond wedding anniversary today, so we're going to be celebrating that by taking them out for a meal. So going to be enjoying that, but I will be back on the channel tomorrow, so I really do hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.